Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Life Force Lotus podcast. I have with me today Salina Rubio. She is an energy worker. She is an emotion code practitioner and a body code practitioner, amongst all the other things that she does today. And I'm so excited to pick her brain today about all of the above.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Rosa.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you today. And, I was introduced to you, I want to say about a year ago, from Miss Emily Penton, who has been on this podcast before. And we have talked about the motion code and Dr. Bradley Nelson before. But yeah, I was introduced to her, to you from her because of the amazing transformation that you were able to help her with.
Yeah, I was honored to do that. I love Emily.
Yes. And then, Emily helped me. She introduced me to all this work with,
Love it.
yeah, I bought the book, which I have here, The Body Code, and I
Mm-hmm.
got the app. And, with Emily, she really helped me a lot with that, learning how to navigate. Um, and, and so I'm so excited to pick your brain today.
And I love that you empowered yourself to, learn it. It's a skill, and sometimes it seems so out there or beyond our reach. But really, if you feel called to it and you put some time into it, yes, there's a little learning curve, but it's so worth it and so doable for most people.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about it before. But it turned out that I was familiar with Dr. Bradley Nelson. I just didn't make the connection, I guess.
Really?
Because I had seen him on the Gaia network.
Okay,
Um,
on the emotion movie.
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I didn't make a connection that it was actually a system that, everyday people could use. Once we tapped into, our divine connection, and then we started to use the program that he has put in place,
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty mind blowing. So, anyone who's interested, I would say if you want to learn it yourself, start with the emotion code book. You can look it up on Amazon. That's how I found it through another podcast. Then I looked up the book and then I saw all the amazing reviews. I'm like, okay, all these people can't be completely wrong. Let me check it out. And then I was hooked.
Yeah, and it's for me, it was like I had been going through my own spiritual journey, I would say since like 2018. And I had all these little openings happening, but it wasn't until I started to ask questions with the emotion code and the body code, and started to try to make that connection with God. Um, and
Yeah, so you had some of those emotional layers that were kind of a block in some ways, right?
oh my gosh, a big, big, big block. I didn't realize a lot of things that were blocking me from connecting. Because I would say for about 2 years, I couldn't connect to source. Like
Wow.
I was having a very hard time and I had a lot of blockages. And so that's what, Emily in the beginning, she helped me with that. And I was amazed I could feel the love. My love was blocked. My heart was
Mm,
blocked.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and and immediately after just a couple sessions, I could feel this tingling in my heart chakra. And
Feel
uh,
yourself warming up, opening up, letting more
yeah.
love in. Yeah, it's beautiful. So you got your heart well cleared during that period.
Well, I would say that I got a lot of it cleared. Yes. And I
Awesome.
I would say that I have some more healing to do. But it's mostly cleared.
Yeah, yeah, and it'll come in layers. Sometimes there's only so much heart wall that's meant to be cleared, and your body will hold on to what's not ready to go yet. And that's how it should be. If it's not ready to be cleared, it won't come up.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to figure out that we need to do that first. Like we need to clear the heart wall first. Because I was just wanting to dive in and just clear all the like
Right.
ancestral trauma, and I was wanting to clear. I had an idea of, for me, the big issues I was having was, um, with my marriage and trying to
Right.
figure out. I was at a crossroads at the time with my husband. We were having a lot of issues, a very dark, dark place. And I was able to help him and myself, first of all. Um, but a lot of digestive issues I was dealing with for most of my life. I had to turn to like carnivore for a while, and then now I can eat things that I couldn't eat before.
That's amazing.
And I
Can be
love,
a slippery slope sometimes, but still amazing.
oh yes, yeah, I've learned a balance. I have to stay really meat based for myself to be
Yeah. I'm
healthy.
speaking from experience too, because I'm very sensitive too. But yeah, like the digestive stuff, yes, of course, like the food inputs matter. Higher quality foods, more nutrient dense foods are going to be easier for anyone to digest. But on top of that, we may have some energetic imbalances that's, contributing to at least a portion of those issues that can benefit for sure. And I want to go back to what you were saying about the heart wall. I know sometimes, we kind of see what areas in our life are pain points where we feel stuck, but, and we kind of want to hyperfixate on those because, like, ouch, this is where it's hurting. Um, and you want to go straight there. And sometimes you can do that. Sometimes it's wise. Like with physical symptoms, like if someone's in extreme pain, like maybe a 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, I would probably put heart wall on hold, maybe for one session, and see if we can get a reduction in pain just to make you more comfortable. You know,
Oh, yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
that makes
Uh,
sense.
but aside from an acute physical symptom presenting, I start with an energetic assessment, not even moving energy, but just energetically testing some things out. And this is not necessarily body code or emotion code. It's just kind of how I intuitively approach a new client or someone seeking energy healing, just to get an overall picture where their energy is and to see what areas they want to optimize in their life, and also ask their subconscious what areas and what the priorities should be, and map out a healing plan, and usually that will include heart wall at the forefront aside from an acute physical condition.
Oh, yeah, that makes so much sense. I know
Yeah,
I'm
that's just
so,
my style though.
well, I'm very interested in your style, Salina, because I honestly have never had a personal session with you, but I have recently joined your healing circle.
And we're so glad to have you. It was
Yeah,
so
and
much
actually,
fun.
I want to say I've only been to one meeting, but right away I felt instantly like I was coming home.
Aw. Yeah, it's
I
it's
felt
such
like
a beautiful
connected.
group. Yeah, such a
Yeah.
beautiful high vibrational group.
Mhm.
What,
Yeah, very, I
and
was
different people
tingling.
on their, oh, in a good way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
as I've been able to release all these energetic what do you call them? Like baggages or uh,
imbalance, right?
yeah. Well, I felt like I was really being weighed down and I couldn't fully connect to my full power, right? Um, and now over the last year, I've been able to learn new abilities I have and recognize when I have a connection with somebody, I feel certain sensations in my body. And I felt
Nice.
these sensations in my head, like this tingling in my head. It was kind of
So
funny.
cool. Love it, love it. Yeah. And the group we have is called Empowered Healers Circle. We have members from all different stages in their energy healing journey. Some are, just learning about a particular type of energy healing. A lot of them are emotion code, body code type. Uh, and some are going through certification right now. Some are already certified. But we are all there learning, growing, practicing together, supporting each other. And yeah, it's been amazing transformations and learning. I created it because it's the type of community I would have wanted
Oh, yeah.
because I didn't I got certified as an emotion code practitioner, without even having anyone else work on me. Like I never had that
Oh,
experience. I learned
really?
from the book. I had to clear my own heart wall. I didn't have community to do it with. I didn't have anyone to bounce off ideas, questions, best practices. So, you know, it took a while. And, now I love introducing and mentoring others who are being called to use this modality for themselves and for others. So I love like mentoring, activating, showing tips and tricks I've learned along the way so that you can develop your own style.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm really excited to be a part of the group because that's my next step is to be get certified.
Yes,
Because I have seen miracles in my life, and I've
right.
seen my husband's the biggest example. Because like I said, we were at a crossroads. There was some issues. And I have seen him open up, and there was so much darkness, you
Yeah.
know.
Did you notice do you guys trigger each other less now?
Yes. He's like a completely different person. And
Wow.
it's like this person that I always wanted him to be and wanted him to open up as I was opening up. But I realized also that we have to give people their space and it's their journey, right? Um, but yeah, he's actually sometimes calmer than I am now. He's sitting there like,
That's
oh, let's
nice.
just let's just breathe into this. And I do find that my son he's my next project. So
How old is your son?
he's 16.
Okay,
Um,
teenager.
oh yes, the hard years, let me tell you.
Yeah, yeah, but he doesn't mind mama working on him, or you just go ahead and
Well,
ask his higher self.
yeah, I work on him in private. He doesn't really know sometimes. But I know like our children we can work on in our,
Yes.
my husband, I did ask, and at first I was like, well, there's this new modality that I'm learning about. It's really helping me. It's like this energy work and and he's like, okay, whatever. And
Okay, there you go.
and it was, yeah, I was releasing like generational trauma, um, and all kinds of things from him, and it was a very slow process, but I was also able to tell him things. He was having some pains in his wrist at the time, and it was kind of funny how it happened, but I told him, well, it's actually caused from up higher on you have an injury on your forearm, and I learned this through the body code.
Hmm.
And he was like, whatever, I didn't do anything. And then he went to the doctor, and sure enough, they're like, yeah, you have like a strained forearm. And
Exactly.
it's
Like,
like
there you go, mama.
it kind of it was a slow process at first, but even now, sometimes I will get an intuition. It's funny, I'll say, I really think you need this. And then sure enough, it'll pop up.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's like when I first started learning how to do this modality, sometimes I would second guess like is it really indicating this? Is it not? And that's normal to wonder, but as you continue to do it and trust the process and see the consistent results and you're maintaining your connection and alignment with spirit, which you're asking for guidance anyway, then you just learn how to trust like quicker and quicker, and it's not even a thing, you know?
Yeah. And I want to know, like, how long have you exactly been doing this?
Okay, so I got certified emotion code May 2020, and then
Oh,
body code certification happened maybe about 6 months later.
oh,
And then,
wow.
yeah, and then when I became certified in May 2020, I had read the book maybe about 9 months prior.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was a relatively short time. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems really fast.
Yeah.
And then how long did it take you to, um, I know that when you get certified, you go through the course, right? And then you have to have all these case studies, don't you?
Yeah, it took me 3 months to get the certification done because I was pretty focused on it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened. I think people have done it as quick as 2 months, but more realistic, I would say give yourself the full 4 to 5 months.
Wow. And
Yeah,
it's
and I
good.
had been practicing and using it with anyone and everyone a lot.
Yeah,
So
and
by the time I jumped into certification, I felt a lot more comfortable.
I think I'm getting more confident. The first time I tried it on a friend, um, and I was blown away by what came up, but also I was getting information from the body code, but also there was other things coming to me, um, energetically that I was just knowing about
Right.
her. Yeah, and that's when
Follow it.
yeah, and that's when I did realize what my true power was. Is that
Yeah,
I've been able to I've been an empath and been able to sense, spirits and stuff like that um for, a long time, but always didn't know what that was. I was like, what's going on here?
right.
And now I'm learning that I'm just a sensitive person, and people are drawn to me because of my energy. And so
Mhm.
this is like a tool in the toolbox that we can use to tap into all of it, right?
Yes, yes. And if you're the naturally really intuitive type like you are, and you're working on with someone doing energy healing, energy work, and getting other intuitive hits, you can kind of integrate that into the session because that might point you to something to check out, something to explore further, something to get more context on that will help that person you're working with have more closure or more context or more understanding for their healing journey other than, oh, this is an imbalance, we're going to clear it. Sometimes it helps
Yeah.
to build context, or you'll have intuitive messages and guidance come through specifically for them.
Well, and that's kind of what I didn't expect it to happen that way, but I was getting verification through the body code, and there's a lot of things that come up in the body code. Um, you know, and
Like
so
thousands of possibilities, like
yeah, it's like
literally.
so many things are coming up that you don't really expect. And I think I was clearing something within her that was um I don't even remember at the time, but it was involving some generational trauma and forgiveness. And then all of a sudden, I just started, and she had lost her mother, and there was a lot, and I didn't know any information. And then she kind of told me, "Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense because I've never forgiven myself for what happened with my brothers and sisters, and all this stuff."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like an example of what things can come up for you.
Yes, yeah, it can help you work through some traumas that you knew were there, but then also help you maybe see it from a different angle that you never considered that you didn't realize was affecting you, whether it's a different angle in this timeline or it was, generational type of thing, or it absorbed energy that you took on from another family member or that's still affecting you, different things. So many
Yeah.
possibilities, you know?
Well, yeah, and that I'm just amazed all the time though, because we use, well, maybe I should have you explain how exactly does the body code work? How are we tapping into your subconscious?
Okay. Loaded question. We might have to take that piece by piece. Okay. So
Okay.
how are we tapping into your subconscious, the other person's subconscious? Um, there is a scientific quantum physics based explanation. If you're sciencey like that, you could, it revolves around non-locality, quantum entanglement. More and more as our current science evolves, it's verifying what the quantum physics concepts have been already established. So that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But basically, if you understand that we are all one, we are all connected, we're just different expressions of that great oneness of our creator, then it's not far-fetched to think and know that at some level we are already connected. Okay. And when we put our focus and intention that um, I intend to be connected to this other expression of God, and I'm an expression of God, and I'm asking God to connect us. It's not hard, you know.
Yeah.
It's done. It's there. Um, but the way we're trained in the body code and how the book would explain it, for the way I understood it when I was going through all of that, is to connect directly to the subject that you're working with. Um, and I did that in the beginning, but I don't do that as a best practice because I found it energy draining for my own energy and running the energy through my body. So I no longer do that. So I can only talk about like the way I practice it.
Okay.
I ask for connection to the person that I'm working with through God. So it's my energy. God is that conduit, and I'm connecting. So it's a
Oh,
protective, loving
I
space.
love that because
And
I had an
yeah,
issue happen with me.
yeah, it's so much easier for that other person's energy issues,
Hmm.
imbalances, even entity interference
Hmm.
to break through and affect you when you don't have that divine barrier, uh, or gateway. I won't say barrier, but that divine channel to connect through and put that in place intentionally. So that's
That
my
makes a lot of
preferred, and it works
sense.
easier, and I'm no longer energetically wiped out, you know?
Yeah, and I know that you help a lot of people, and I was going to ask you, how do you do it? And I'm still learning, of course, but I know the first time when I helped somebody and there was a lot of shifts, and yeah, I felt it. I went home and I was wiped out.
Yeah,
It was
like
weird because
wiped out.
at first I had a lot of energy, like I was like, whoa, and then all of a sudden I was wiped out, and I was like, oh gosh, how can I
Yeah.
protect myself?
So you were probably releasing acting as proxy for that person, right?
Hmm.
Releasing the energy off of your body, acting in place of the person. So that means your physical body has to do a lot of that work to release. So I don't do that
Mm.
part either. So and this is again, the body code and emotion code work wonderful as is. I had to kind of tweak. I'm not saying change, but I had to tweak things so that it worked, for me in a more effective way and for my clients.
Mhm.
So I no longer run any energy through my body, like at all. Um, I ask for angelic help and light beings to assist in all my sessions, for my clients' highest good. And I ask them if they could do that job because it tires me out.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, and that's one of the first things I was learning about. I was trying to call in my team and I was learning who was my team, right? And I learned, I got to talk to my angels and guides, and I learned that we all
Mhm.
have a team, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And everyone does. I mean, there's so much uh, angelic help out there, so many light beings in different forms that can help, that God provides. But we do have to ask for it. We have to ask for the help intentionally. So when I continue to ask for the help layer after layer in different ways, um, I saw massive results. So, like what I used to be able to accomplish with a client in one session when I first started out, now um, we could get done in a current one session, 5 of those old sessions.
My gosh,
So
really?
yes, yes. And
Oh.
when I first started, my clients would have some pretty intense processing symptoms. Not all of them, but the ones that did have processing symptoms, like being extra tired, extra thirsty, extra moody. A day or two following the session, sometimes 3 or 4 days. Once I worked more closely with my team. I call them my team as well. Once
Yeah.
I worked more closely with my team and Also prayed and asked God to provide every client that comes on my calendar with a team of extra angels to help them specifically with their energy healing with me. So that really cut down on the processing symptoms and processing time. Like the difference was night and day. So I was like, wow,
Yeah.
the team is doing it.
Well, and I will say, yeah, once I did learn to call upon my team as well, my processing time went down a lot
Mm-hmm.
too. But in the beginning, I didn't really know. I wasn't really connected. That's why I was, trying to remove all this energetic blockages.
Right, right.
So I can become more of my true self.
Yeah. And I love that you're building that relationship with your team and they're helping you with the energy work already. You're not even in the certification yet, but you're ahead of the curve and
Well,
finding the
it's
ways to do
because
it
I was
effectively.
learning, I'm pretty sure whatever you've mentored Emily on, right?
Yeah.
And she uses this within her practice, but as, with existing clients,
Right.
basically. Um, but yeah, and she even had a workshop with, was it with Amy?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A while back, and they were really,
Yes.
yeah, they were really talking about how you just have to kind of, connect with God or whoever you connect with, God, source, your team.
Yes. Yes.
And
Exactly.
they really kind of drilled that in, was like, this is important because you cannot do this alone, you
Yeah,
know.
it made a big shift for them for sure. Yeah. Why do anything alone? I've always been a spiritual person, so I've always had that connection, with God, even, as a child with very limited understanding. I always experienced God as very loving, and there for me to show me the way. So I don't dare do anything like this, especially when it comes to helping people work through, for personal development, to work through healing. You know, if you try to do this alone, don't even attempt. I would say don't attempt, because you want to be guided, you want to be protected, you want to be covered. Um, yeah, and even when we're having if we're under like a like dark night of the soul type of season where you feel so energetically depleted, it's not typically the time to push through and try to do this for yourself. Find someone who feels, filled up, and
Yeah, I will
can
say
do,
that's what I had to do. And I was
yeah,
working, yeah, I was getting help with Emily, and I had a few other people because I could feel so drained, and I was like, I just want to get this off of me, right? And
right,
then
right.
I
Yeah,
learned
you
about the
do have to be
processing.
at a pretty, you have to be at be able to access a stable vibration to be able to do this accurately. If
Mhm.
your vibration dips a little too low, you might not even be able to muscle test accurately, which is the main tool you need to be able to navigate the body code and emotion code system. So,
Yeah, and I learned that too the hard way because I was trying to do all these things, right? And I learned that we do have to really calm down our system, our central nervous system, our
yeah, and give yourself space in between sessions sometimes for sure. And I just realized you asked me a two-part question, and I don't know if I answered the other part. You asked about how do you connect to the other person. Okay, I think we covered that part, but what was the
yes.
other part?
Um, honestly, I don't remember now because
Was it like how do you do the body code, or was it
um,
that, or what was it?
well, yeah, it might have been. I honestly, you've answered so much of my question, and we went on a beautiful conversation here.
Right. Well, let me just say, like, for those who might not be familiar, the body code, it is like that book that you showed earlier to
Mhm.
everyone, but it's also an app. So if I think if you look it up on the App Store, it would be under Discover Healing, maybe Discover Healing or the body
Yeah,
code.
I actually do have the app. Um,
Okay.
I can pull it
Yeah,
up
you could show it.
real quick here.
So that way they can see what I'm kind of explaining.
And it is, I just got it, to help myself and my family. I realized I can do this, right?
Yeah, and it's you don't have to be certified to get the app. It's a monthly subscription.
But yeah, this is
Um,
like, let's see if you can see kind of what it
Yeah, there
looks
you
like.
go. So there's six categories there. So whenever you're doing this type of emotion code or body code, we're using muscle testing. So, the first step is to ask for divine help, you know, and then establish the connection with the person you're going to be doing the energy work with and for,
Hmm.
and then ask if there's an imbalance that's causing or contributing to their issue that you can release or take care of using the body code system. And if you get a yes, then you can get started. And then when you were showing that, it had those six categories. So
Yeah.
uh, energetic is one category that has mostly to do with emotional stuff. Then the next category is circuits or systems, your organs, your different uh, body physical systems. There's a whole nother category for toxins, and that's different types of toxins, including like heavy metal toxins, environmental, uh, you know, different types like food toxins, everything.
Yeah.
Uh, then there's pathogens is a different category, and then misalignments, so structural misalignments in our body, and then there's a nutrition lifestyle category.
Yes.
So within those six, there are tons of subcategories and subcategories. So that's
Yes.
why it can take you to so many different possibilities.
And what I like
Um,
about the book is he goes into all of them in depth in the book.
mhm. Yeah,
Um,
you get sort of like a training, right? With the
yeah,
book.
it has like, okay, what does this mean? You know?
Right, right.
Um, because actually at first when I was doing it, I guess I had a lot of curses that
Yeah,
were that I put upon myself and other people.
self-inflicted curses.
Yes. And
Yes.
that's the other thing with some of my food intolerances. I put them on myself,
Yeah,
you know.
subconsciously, right?
Yeah, I created this imbalance, intolerance, and it was probably because I wanted for my own good at the time. Is what I learned with I created with alcohol, and I don't need alcohol. I've struggled with that kind of addiction cycle for many years, and now I'm at a place where I don't drink at all, but I guess at a time I gave myself an intolerance to the alcohol. So bad things actually happened to me,
Oh,
you know.
wow.
Physically, it wasn't just in my head.
Right, right. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I don't know, I feel like I'm
Interesting.
allergic to alcohol. It's weird.
Yeah, and we can become allergic, develop like energetic allergies to people, places, things, concepts. Like, it's
Oh, and that's
crazy.
one thing I was learning about, and I was there's just so many rabbit holes. But one of them was the idea intolerance.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
wow.
love that category. That's yes.
And that was like, oh, I had an idea intolerance for a while to work,
Hmm.
like not wanting to work, which made sense because for a long time I was like, I just kind of this year I went back to like working full time, right? I was like, okay, I'm ready to go back to work, but I really didn't want to. I was like, this is really hard. And
So
so
you had to work on clearing that intolerance. Yeah.
yeah, there was an intolerance to work. I was like, why is it hard for me to work?
Yeah, yeah, that energy just got stuck, and then you gotta clear all the things that are causing that main intolerance that are feeding into that. So,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, there's just so much.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you is, okay, when you first get um a new client, what is your first step? Um,
Um, I asked them to start with an assessment, a sample session, and an assessment. So that appointment is mainly getting some history and where they're currently at. connecting to their energy, taking some energetic measurements, which are not emotion code or body code related. It would be like me measuring, what their average vibration has been like lately. It would be measuring how much anxiety, fear, worry type energy their body is holding and expressing as anxiety. It would be me measuring how much depression, heaviness, or overwhelm type energy they have. And then also measuring how much heart wall. So some practitioners measure heart wall, some don't. I like to measure the heart wall just to see how much trauma their body has stored in that way over the years, because that'll give me an idea of how much trauma they're holding. Um, I also check for what we call, and I say we meaning some practitioners, but it's not something that's taught in the body code either. But I check for inner child splits. So that would be like when you, as a child or a young person, go through an extremely traumatic event or go through a period of time uh, cumulatively where it's so much stressors or so difficult that at some point you have to cyclically dissociate to survive. So, you
I
know
know
what I
about
mean?
that one.
So, so yeah,
Yes.
so I see, if there are any inner child splits, and especially if someone measures with a really large heart wall, then, it would be important for me to ask about inner child splits. And when I say ask, this is just asking to the person's subconscious. They're not providing information directly. It's just getting the answers from the subconscious. So if they do have an inner child split, then I get the age or ages and ask if that split aspect of them as a child has his or her own heart wall, because usually a split will, and that'll be different than the main heart wall. Yeah.
Wow. This is crazy.
So
I'm
those
learning
are
so
like
much from
some
you.
those are like some of, like, to me those are like main areas like I as a practitioner want to know about, so that I can make the best recommendations for you. You know, so then we go into physical issues that are presenting, any history of anxiety or depression, any medications. Not that I need to know the medications, but what are the medications for? Because that'll give me an indication of what's physically presenting. So, physical problems would include any like areas of pain, tension, or discomfort. And then I'd get ratings for them 1 through 10 in terms of intensity and frequency and duration. I'll also ask about the quality of sleep, quality of digestion, quality of energy, because all those things are physical. I'll ask about some lifestyle factors, and then I'll ask, for like you at this time, what's, what would you like help on? What would you like support with? What's surfacing for you? What areas of your life do you want to optimize or see some positive change or momentum? So all of that can help build an assessment of where we need to focus. Um, if there's like acute physical pain, then we might even use that first session to get that down or eliminated. Uh, if and then we can also ask, on the first session, if the scores of anxiety and depression and heaviness are really high, then we'll want to get that reduced. I always include clearing for your highest good in any session, because you want to
Yes.
leave it open for the best things to come through. So that's
Yeah.
always good. So it just depends. And sometimes I'll be led to ask about some other areas I don't normally ask about. So, and then from there, we just, do the plan, the healing path, which is usually heart wall first. If there's any inner child splits, that comes next. So that, you can go forward completely heart wall free and completely integrated with without those splits being separated. So,
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
This
then,
is
we'll plan for
exciting.
whatever physical issues, whatever emotional issues, making peace with the past or current stressors. Just depends on what's going on.
Wow. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so intense, but it's so worth it to go through all this work, right?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like that. That's just my style.
Yeah.
Because I
No,
like to
I
have a
I love that
comprehensive
you
assessment.
I really like your style and I love that you really dig in. There's a lot of areas that I wouldn't, I wouldn't think to ask. Um and so I'm wondering if you think we have time for a small little mini
Sure. Of
or if
course.
I know we briefly kind of talked about it. Um we're not going to go as intense as I already booked a private session with you.
Yeah, so we'll do all that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, we'll do all that other stuff.
Yes.
Um, but I'm wondering if we can kind of show my audience, how it works, how we
Yeah,
can.
yeah. We can release a few imbalances and work on any area you want. So let me just take a breath and tune into your energy and ask God to connect us, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm using the pendulum for muscle testing, and I just asked in my head, I called in all of your team and my team, asked God to connect, guide, and direct, protect these clearings coming up now, and if we're connected. So when the pendulum comes toward me, it's a yes, and then side to side is a no. Going in a circle is getting to an answer. So when I ask, am I connected with Rosa? And you go by Rosa, right?
Yes.
Okay, so am I connected with Rosa? I get a clear yes. If I ask, am I connected with Salina? It's starting to go to a no. Okay, all right, so am I asking, can Rosa do energy work with me at this time? Yes. Is it in her highest and best interest to do so? Yes. Okay, so, and I might be testing ring and ring method. So if I do weird things with my hands, that's what's going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, do you have an area you want to work on, or do you have any physical issues going on right now, or do you have a different area in mind?
I didn't really have anything in mind. I was, yeah, just whatever comes up.
Okay. We can do highest good then.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that.
Okay. Oh, also, I do want to say this. Also, for first time clients, if they have like some significant pain, I would say rating 4 or up, maybe. I usually like to start with that because we'll usually see a reduction in that pain, and then they can have something tangible, like, wow, that actually did help. And it can help them be more open to the process.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I asked, like, do you have any physical issues? No, but
I
it's
know
okay.
I really don't right now, which is
That's
good.
so awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you
Yeah.
don't. Okay, is there something we can clear in the body code for Rosa's highest good? Yes. Okay, so we are in energy. So that first section. And let's see, which subcategory do we need? Is this post-traumatic? Is this offensive energy? Okay, so it's some type of offensive energy. So we'll see where this takes us. Okay, confirming this is offensive energy for Rosa. Is this a curse, an entity, according a post-hypnotic suggestion? Looks like yes. Saboteur energy, no. Okay, so it's some type of post-hypnotic suggestion. So I'm going to click that. Okay, so when we click on post-hypnotic suggestion, it goes through these 3 columns and 6 rows. So let's see. Confirming post-hypnotic suggestion. Is this in column A, B, or C? This is in column A. Is this A even or odd? Okay, A odd. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5, 5. Okay. So let's see. On A5, which one is it? There's 4 options. Okay, so this is we tested through I don't deserve forgiveness, I don't receive respect, I give up, I hate everything. So this is a time where you trap the vibration of I give up. Okay.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm trying
It's
to
okay.
think.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
well. I can think, there may be a few times when I thought that. Yes.
Yes, I mean, and that's a common one. Most people have felt like that, at least temporarily. Doesn't mean you
Hmm.
always felt like that. Um, then we ask, is there anything else we need to know about I give up? And I'm getting a no, but if it said yes, or if you're just curious, you can try to get an age, so if you want an age, we can try to find one.
Yeah,
But if you're not,
let's
okay.
try.
Okay, so how old are you, Rosa?
Right now I am 44.
Okay. I would have not thought you were 44.
I get that a lot, actually. Yes.
Yes. You are doing good. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So when was this for Rosa? I give up. When was this? Was this before the age of 20? Before the age of 10? Before the age of 5? No, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so around 9 years old. This is childhood. So I
Mm.
don't know how much childhood memory you have. No idea what your childhood was like because we haven't really talked yet.
I know, right?
But
Well,
you
yeah,
did
that
go
may
through a thing where you felt like that temporarily.
and honestly, there's parts of my childhood I don't really remember
Yeah, and
from
that's common,
trauma.
especially like for the parts that, we don't remember because it's protective for us to not remember. And it's also possible, like if someone was really feeling this heavily and you're empathic, then it could have been another family member or person's vibration of like, I just give up, I'm in despair, that type of energy latching onto you.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
But in either case, you were around 9 when this got lodged in your system. So we don't need to know more. Are there associations? No. So we can clear that now. So we're going to do that by pulling the energy through your governing meridian. I'm going to act as proxy for you. Well, actually, my team is, but I'll be demonstrating it on me. And we're going to release this off of you. So just be in a receptive mode. In the name of
Okay.
God, releasing this, I give up. Despair, anchor, post hypnotic suggestion off of Rosa's mind, body, spirit field, releasing, I give up. Okay, and then we check, has that I give up vibration been cleared from Rosa's body and field? Yes. Okay, so that's how it works. And then we just go on to the next one, and we'll do one more. And sometimes I would say if something like that, like I give up energy got cleared, it may,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for your highest good, it may be because you're either in something right now or maybe coming up soon. There's a project or something in your life where you need to make sure you're not going to give up, or it might be easy to feel like I want to just give up. But this has been cleared so that it's easier for you to move forward and keep going.
This is, yeah. This
Does
is,
that make sense?
yes, this is really hitting home for me. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes, because I think that's my newest business idea and venture that I'm trying to create right now with Life Force Lotus,
Mm-hmm.
which I will say came to me on a walk. It just came to me.
Nice.
And I think it's like almost like a life's purpose
See,
where,
that's when you know it's for you and it just comes and it feels right, right? Yeah. So you don't want to take this I give up energy with you because right
because I
now
have given
your
up on
body
a
wants to.
lot of, like I have a pattern, right? So this makes so much sense because I start a lot of projects, a lot of things throughout my whole life. I start them, and then I don't finish.
Right. Right. So what I found is, if we're clearing for highest good and, maybe it's something that happened way before, like your childhood, like this one, but it's
Yeah.
usually to support you for something you have going on currently.
Hmm.
So like making that connection helps give you more clarity, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it is. It makes a
Yes.
lot of sense.
Okay. So what is and that's what I love to do in my sessions too is help you see the connections so you can maximize why that was cleared and use it, to your advantage in your life.
Yeah.
Okay. So next imbalance for Rosa's highest good. Okay, so we're still in the energy category. So it'll be something emotional related, post-traumatic offensive mental allergy or intolerance or emotional. Okay. So I was just reading through the categories. So this is something emotional. So is this a trapped emotion, a heart wall, a compound? So this looks like a heart wall. Uh, and I know your main heart wall has been cleared, but let's see what's up with this heart wall. There's different types of potential heart walls. Most of them are your common heart wall emotions, but some may be generational, some may be prenatal, preconception, shared, different potential types of heart walls. So we're going to test that out. Is this prenatal? No. Uh, is this preconception? Okay, looks like it. Inherited, common, shared, absorbed, no. So this is preconception heart wall. So,
Wow.
and these are not too common, um,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll find out more. So this is when preconception, okay, it's not prenatal. It's okay. Prenatal is like when you're in utero. Preconception is um, things you picked up from experiences before you came here in this lifetime. Okay.
Makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Okay. So however your belief system is on that, this is what's showing up. So yeah. This is
Yes.
what you brought in
Yes.
from other experiences elsewhere. Okay.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I know you have for you, I know you have no um problem with this concept, but sometimes
Yeah.
depending on your client, you want to be careful about their beliefs. So
Yeah, of
you
course.
can just say, before you got here, you just came in with this kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So preconception, heart wall, emotion. Which one is it? A or B? And I'm testing through emotion code chart. A even, A odd, so it's A even, A2, A4, A2, A4, A6, A6, A6. Which one is it? Okay, so this is a preconception heart wall of overwhelm.
That makes a lot of sense. I get overwhelmed a lot, so.
Really overwhelmed easily. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's
it'll be a little less easily after this. So,
so
um,
good. I'm
so
always clearing that too from my heart wall. I feel like I'm always
wow.
clearing
So
the,
that's something that comes up often for you.
yes, the
Okay.
overwhelm.
Okay. So, if you're the type that likes to just have information, especially if it's one of the rarer ones, like a preconception heart wall, and you're wondering, like, God, Spirit, can we just know when this was? You can potentially ask. So, for my clients
Yeah.
that do want to know and have that in their belief system of other lifetimes, then you can potentially ask. So, did you want to just clear it, or do you want to find out more if possible?
Yeah, let's find out more.
Hey.
I'm very open, you know?
Okay. So, was this in a previous lifetime? Okay, and I'm asking previous lifetime because who knows? It could be a parallel life, could be a future life. When I work with clients, I'm collapsing all timelines. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, and again, you can develop your own style. You don't have to do this if this is not part of your belief system. Okay. So it was a previous lifetime. Was it in this dimension, like this earth dimension? Yes. Okay. Was it within the past 1,000 years? Yes. Was it within the past 500 years? Yes. Past 100 years? No. Two, three. Okay. Past 300 years. So is this between 2 and 250? Nope. 250 and 300 years ago. 50, 60, 265, 6, 7. Okay, so around 267 years ago. Okay,
Oh,
so somewhat closer lifetimes, not like thousands of years ago, you know. Uh, and let's see, 267. And then you can ask in that lifetime, was Rosa's consciousness expressing as a male or female energy? And so I'm getting a male energy. So in your lifetime, uh, male lifetime around 267 years ago, where one of the big things you were feeling. It had to be pretty intense for you to still carry it over. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, so we're gonna be releasing this off of your timelines. Okay.
Oh my gosh, this feels so amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, so just send love and compassion and honor like all the experiences you've had and all the lifetimes you had to carry this, and it's ready to go with you. Okay.
Wow,
All right. So
yeah, this is for my highest good.
yeah, so just be in a receptive mode in the name of God, releasing this preconception heart wall off of Rosa of overwhelm, releasing preconception heart wall of overwhelm off of Rosa across all time, space, and dimensions cleared. Okay. All right. Has that preconception heart wall of overwhelm been cleared? Yes. Okay.
Yay!
So that's how this works.
Wow, and I love that I actually love that this came up
Yeah, these are
because
good ones.
yeah, because it's and like you said, we can go about it different ways. We can just release it and not ask questions, right? But if you're a curious person like me,
Yes.
sometimes I like to, ask the questions because I'm just curious, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's fun.
And yeah, so like you don't want to ask too many questions, otherwise, like you'll only be able to release a few at a time during a session. But for
Oh,
the ones
yes.
that stick out for you, and you do want, I usually just tell my clients, let me know if you want more information or context. We can always go back, or we can pause and get it. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have that kind of reminds me of one that I've released for my husband is like it was in the memory field.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it ended up being from a past life, like in the memory field, but I didn't go further, because I was just trying to
Right.
really, I was a little curious, but I was like, okay, let's just release this.
Yeah. And
Um,
it could even be like in your dream state. You can get trapped
oh,
emotions or memory fields like when
what?
you're out in the astral.
Really? Oh, that's opening up a whole new world
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah. It
me. Yeah, well, because I actually and I will say, this is a little off topic, but I've become more open, right? And I've realized that we do have past lives. And this year, actually, I have remembered, and it's been very spontaneous, about eight to 10 of my past lives have
wow.
popped
That's
up.
cool.
At first, it was a little, it's kind of like you have to work through the trauma of that memory. And I think that they must come in your like they must come up for a reason, right? There's a reason.
Right, right. Because we're
They,
really meant to live in the present. So if they're coming
yes,
up, you want to explore, okay, why is this coming up? How does this relate to me now? What lessons can I learn to optimize my experience now?
exactly. And that's what I've been working on lately is like, okay, I want to live in the present. I know that I have a lot of forgiveness that I'm working on with myself. Um, and these past lives were just coming up to remind me of, what maybe why I'm having a hard time forgiving myself, right?
Mm, hmm And you'll get there, and
Yeah.
that I'm glad you brought that up because one of the main focuses when I'm working with anyone is where are they at with their self-love? Because that's where it all starts. When we step into more self-love, uh, so much better quality of life. We feel so much better. We don't go back to old patterns. We can be so gracious with ourselves and with others more easily, and we can be so much more in our power. So I love that you're working with
Yeah.
that.
And there's so
Good job.
many, I love this tool, that you have, Selena. And I love that, we can just access things like this, and there's all different modalities that we can use. But I really am passionate about learning more through you and through the other healers that are in your circle.
Yes, yes.
And
So yeah, and I'm glad you're coming on board. We've only been operating maybe for 4 months, 4 or 5 months or so, Empowered Healers Circle. So if anyone is curious about that, maybe you could look me up on my socials, or maybe there's a link, and well, it's on my link. So I'm
Well,
sure you
I'm
probably need
gonna
that.
post, I am gonna put all of your links, okay? I know you have a bunch of links and a bunch of like different offerings, and you have your circle, and then you have a bunch of different bundles. I was kind of looking it up today, you know.
Yeah, but
Um,
like anyone new, start with the sample session
yeah.
because that's the best bang for your buck. We can do the assessment. You can see, we can both see if we're a good fit for each other, so you can know what to expect. But and if you're already a healer or going in that direction, check out the Empowered Healer Circle.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Selena.
You are welcome, Rosa. This was so much fun.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I didn't know where this was going to go, but I always think, it goes where it needs to go, and we just reach the masses, right?
Yes, yes,
With
yes,
the healing. Um,
yes.
and are there, one question that I've been asking my guests is what is lighting up or fueling your life force recently to allow that beautiful lotus flower to emerge?
Oh gosh, there's so many things, but my first thought is nature. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, nature has been helping me fuel my life source. I guess coming out of winter and the colder months, I'm just very much like a outdoor and sunshine type person. So I've been soaking up as much sun as I can and getting out to the lake and nature as often as I can. So
oh,
that's
I
been
love
fueling
that.
it.
Yes, I love it.
To
Yeah, I've been,
recharge. It recharges me as an energy healer. I need that.
well, the sun, right? The sun is
Hmm.
our life source, right?
Hmm.
But I love that, Selena, and I love talking to you today. And I won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, and I'll see you at our private session soon.
Yes, I will see you soon. I can't wait to experience you.
Okay,
Your
thanks for
true
having me on,
healing.
Rosa.
Thank
All
you.
right, my dear. Good night.
Bye.